Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Good Effort Meg. Today, I wanted to share with you guys some really awesome finds that Anthony and I have had recently with a little bit of dumpster diving and some thrift store finds. I have some family in town and they also were able to find some pretty amazing things, so I just thought this would be a fun day to share with you guys what we've found so far. So yeah, so let's get started. So the first category of things that we have found, this is obviously more kind of the stuff that I like rather than Anthony, but I wanted to share nonetheless to give you an idea of the kind of things that you can find at thrift stores to help you save money if you're a crafter like myself. So the first thing I found was a set of knitting needles. So I haven't knit in years, but I saw this amazing pattern by an Instagram user that I follow who creates patterns, and I'll share the pattern that I want to make. So I really wanted to make this pattern out of this beautiful lavender yarn that I found. So I found these knitting needles and I paid, I believe, $1.99 for these knitting needles. So I was pretty happy with that price, considering the amount of money you can pay for like a brand new set at like a Joann's or a Michael's or something. So I always start with my secondhand stores before I go to the name brand stores whenever I'm trying a new project. The next thing I found in kind of the crafting category is I found some amazing Zelda Wind Waker, I believe, themed fleece. So unfortunately, I never got to play Wind Waker growing up. I didn't have a GameCube and I never owned the Wii U, but I found this fleece and I'm hoping to make a nice like pullover sweater, which when I get around to it, I will film that and share that process with you guys. But I was just super excited. The nerd inside of me was just, oh my gosh, like wicked excited when I saw this fleece. So I didn't even care if there was enough fleece or not. I'm going to make something with it and I had to have it. So I got this amount of fleece. I believe I paid $6 for it. And I think that's a steal for some fleece, especially from like, it's like an official Nintendo fleece. So any crafters out there, you might know that like, you know, kind of the name brand and like cartoon or like company sponsored fleece and fabrics, they can run a little bit higher than just like your regular prints. So I was really excited with this find. Now the next category of things is also something that I was wicked excited about. I have to give credit to Anthony and my family members who helped me find these things as well, but that is electronics. The very first thing that we found that I was super excited that we found was a blue ice ball microphone. So I typically use a Blue Yeti microphone when I'm filming my YouTube videos, and so I'm very familiar with the brand of Blue for their audio equipment, and I've always been really happy with them. And my aunt is actually the one that found this microphone for, I believe we paid $6 for it. So I wasn't sure if it was gonna work. It looked a little beat up on the outside, but when we brought it home and we plugged it in, it worked perfectly fine. And I cleaned up the outside with some cleaner and it works like a charm. It looks great. It's the white model and I'm just very, very happy with that find. And actually I am using this microphone to film this video, so as kind of proof that it works. The next thing we found in the electronics category is a VCR. So this one I actually didn't find in a thrift store. I found it at our complex's dumpster. It was outside and I was just dropping off some recycling and I just saw it in like a pile of boxes. I just saw a VCR and I was like, oh my gosh. So I snagged it up, and you might be wondering why in 2022 I snagged up a VCR, and we will get to it. I'm not sure if it works yet. I've got to get the right cables for it. I mean, this is pre-HDMI. These are your good old, like, you might remember if you're my age, you had the white, red, and yellow cables, the little three, the 2 audio and video cables. So I have to actually go pick that up before I can test it But be sure that if it's not working, I will be doing a repair video in the future for it. So I've never taken apart a VCR, so I thought it would be kind of cool to see what the inside looks like. So I will let you guys know about that in the future. And the last electronic that we've recently found at the thrift store, which was so exciting. Again, as a gamer and a nerd, this was just amazing to find this. So we found an Xbox 360 E-Series for $27. What? And again, it's 2022. Why am I buying an Xbox 360? Well, first off, I am a sucker for old gaming systems. I already have an Xbox 360 that I've had since it originally came out, and it works perfectly fine still, but I have a family friend who has been nostalgic for like the old Xbox games, and he's been wanting to like play some Rainbow Six and some Halo, and so when I saw it I was like, oh, I gotta get it for him. I didn't know if it was gonna work. I figured if it didn't work I would do a repair video on it, but we plugged it in, started it up, and it works like a charm. And the E-Series is wicked fast, so for it coming out in I think like 2014 or somewhere around there, it's amazing that it ran basically as smooth as a current gen Xbox. So I was very happy with that find. So $27 for a game console, what the heck? So the last category of things that we found, because I didn't really know where to put these items, is we found this really cool metal box. So my aunt is actually the one that found it, and I'm probably going to use it to sort some of my sewing items or crochet items. My local library has a 3D printer lab, so I might design and fit in some little dividers or something into the box. Which that was another thing. If you want or are interested in 3D printing, but you don't have the funds to purchase one or the space to purchase one currently, check with your local library. The last couple of places that I've lived, my local library has had a 3D printer lab, so definitely check that as a resource for you. And my aunt found that, and it was $3, so pretty awesome find. So for the VCR, you might be wondering like why the heck I pulled a VCR out of the dumpster. Well, it's actually because Anthony actually found the original collector's edition of the first 3 Star Wars movies. And I'm not talking about the prequel movies, I'm talking about the OG, like, you know, Return of the Jedi and those movies, and we love the Star Wars series, so we were really happy to find it, and it's in pristine condition. Don't worry, when I test the VCR, I'm not going to use one of those VHS tapes. I will be using a just a random VHS that we found at the thrift store that we were like, oh, it's fine, like if it gets, you know, tangled up in there. If any of y'all remember, that used to happen occasionally. But really excited with that find, and we paid $6 for it, and so that was super fun. And the last thing I found, which was more on the expensive end, I think on this list, it was the item that I paid the most for, but I have been hunting for this for a couple of months, maybe years, trying to get my hands on this, and that is Wii Sports Resort. So that is a video game that I have very fond memories of playing as a kid with my best friend, and we would just play it for hours and hours. And when Nintendo announced that they were coming out with a Switch Sports, I got very nostalgic for Wii Sports Resort, and so I just kind of went ham on trying to find it. And either the retro game stores were charging like $50-$60, which I was like, I'm not paying that amount of money for a X amount of year old game. And so I was just like, I can hold off, let me just keep a lookout. And I found Wii Sports Resort at my local thrift store. for, I believe I paid $30 for it, which again, that might be high for some people, but I know that Wii Sports Resort is weirdly like a very hard to come across video game, and it's always like priced really high. And so my thrift store is typically geared towards older folks. It's more like clothes and some furniture and things like that, with like a really small electronics section, lots of books and things, which it's my favorite thrift store. I always go there, but every once in a while I find something like that. And when I found that, I immediately snatched it up because I knew their typical clientele would not know the actual worth of that item. So I snagged it up and I am so happy with it. I can't wait to play it. So these are all the items that I found either in the dumpster in our local complex or I found at our local thrift store. So again, like I mentioned before, some of the electronics, I don't know if they work or not, but if they don't, I'll be sure to share kind of a repair video or just kind of a teardown video. So who knows if I can actually fix it if it's not working, but we'll try anyways. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you like this type of content, be sure to stick around and hit subscribe. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!